is a sight you could only see in tropical North Queensland. That tree behind me is home for a nesting colony of shining starlings. They're native birds. They live very companionably, always in flocks, and they always build their nests very close together. And they always seem to have an awful lot to say to each other. Shining starlings, or metallic starlings, spend part of the year in New Guinea. They fly south to Australia in late winter and spring to breed. The amazing thing is that a single colony will actually come back and nest in the same tree year after year. How they pinpoint one tree out of the millions is still one of nature's greatest mysteries. I wish I had their sense of direction. From a distance, you wouldn't look twice at these birds. You really have to see them close up to appreciate that wonderful iridescent sheen they have on their feathers. But it's the bird's eyes that fascinate me. Perhaps it's more than a coincidence that their eyes are as round and as red as these rainforest fruits they like so much. It's mainly those unusual eyes that distinguish the shining starlings from their close cousins, the introduced starlings. But those European birds are unwanted pests. They do tremendous damage to crops, and they steal other birds' nest sites. But these birds, the shining starlings, are native birds. They're properly adapted to their home environment. Shining starlings have adapted to life around human communities too, and this actually puts them at risk. Perhaps it's the name Starling and the confusion with those disastrous introduced cousins of theirs. We all know the saying, give a dog a bad name. Well, that applies to birds too. Here under this nest tree close to the town of Ingham is one of the reasons I wanted to do this story. Nearly half the colony lying dead. It only takes one idiot with a rifle, and that's what's happened here. Was it confusion over the name Starling? Or simply a crazy urge to destroy? We'll never know. Shining starlings are actually rainforest birds. In the rainforest, these nests would be up on the top of the tallest trees, right out in the open, high above the canopy. On cleared land, the birds will use any kind of tree, even introduced trees around the towns. This colony lives right up close to a set of railway tracks. They make so much noise themselves, they probably don't even hear the trains going by. Wherever the birds nest, there must be rainforest nearby. These birds are flying off to the rainforest to get building materials. The nests are made entirely of tendrils from a particular kind of rainforest vine. Nothing else will do. The tendrils are pulled off and taken back to the nest tree. Shining starlings are sometimes called weaver birds, but they're not related to the true weavers, which are African birds. The vine tendrils are curly, so they're ideal for the kind of random weaving these birds are capable of. They can be poked in anywhere, and they'll stay put. It's interesting to watch the early stages of nest building. Here's a pair just starting under rather difficult circumstances. Notice how the tendrils being wound round the branch. Here's another new nest. His mate seems to think she can do a better job. Each nest has its own entrance, but with all the sociable comings and goings, it's not easy to tell which nest is whose. Sometimes the birds don't seem to know themselves. For a close community like this to work, there has to be a lot of give and take. This is the take side. The birds are stealing nest material while the owners are away. It only takes one thief to start the whole colony looting. This thievery seems to be a normal part of life, like the noisy scrapping that goes on from time to time. But quarrels are soon forgotten up here in the tropical sunshine. And next year, with luck, this tree will see its lively, bright-eyed and rowdy tenants back in full strength again. Well, noisy they may be, and perhaps a little bit quarrelsome, but I wish I could transport this entire tree and all its occupants to my backyard in the south. Not too close to the house, though.